Okay, so just a few words about Explore, which is this new prospectivity analysis tool that we've developed in-house by IGS. And it's a new software tool that essentially tries to de-risk early stage mineral exploration. Effectively what it tries to do is replicate the role of a geologist in doing a desk study for a specific mineral deposit model within an area. And it's unique in the way that it does this because it uses what's called semantic technology. Now, semantic technology in itself is not a new thing. In fact, it's quite well known. It's used by the financial resources sector. It's used by the pharmaceutical sector, for example. But until recently, nobody's actually tried to employ using semantics in mineral exploration. Exploration has always been deemed too difficult, effectively, to actually use semantics. And what semantics is effectively like a learning technology. So the way that Explore works is that actually it's defined 50 mineral deposit models, going through the peer-reviewed literature, going through the mineral deposit models that have been created, for example, by the USGS, by the Canadians, by the Australians, for example. And it's taken all of those effectively rules, if you like, of what are the most key characteristics involved in lots of different types of mineral deposit models, and it's used this model, or rather use this information for the different models in our system to help understand, when you actually run a model through this software, of where the most prospective areas are likely to occur for certain mineral deposit models. It's got major advantages over traditional forms of prospectivity analysis, particularly because it's an iterative process. In other words, and it's also customizable as well. So, for example, you can go back into a rule, and if you don't like the characteristics, for example, or if you feel that certain characteristics in an area are more important than others, you can basically tweak it so that and rerun the rule and come up with a different set of maps, effectively. So essentially, if you think about it, we're training a computer to understand, if you like, what are the key characteristics involved in lots of different types of mineral deposit models. That's the best way to try and think of it. Now, we've used this tool already commercially. As Raimos said earlier on at the start of his talk, we've worked with Geoscience, and we've actually developed some mineral prospectivity maps in Botswana. They're online now. They went actually online in August. And in 2 months we've had over 800 downloads of the data. So it's been quite a good success story. You know, people are obviously want this data, which is fantastic news. The screenshot here shows an example from the Balkhash area using CIRCAM's data, which is coincidentally the only data, the only provider of seamless geological data across the whole of the Central Asia belt in 1.5 million scales. We've run prospectivity analysis in this area, in this case for copper gold porphyry deposits. So you might just briefly, I don't know whether you can see it very well from the back, but there's a sort of an orangish line which indicates the area that are permissive. So in other words, theoretically you could get that type of mineral deposit model in that area. And then in the hashed areas right in the top left, you've got different areas of prospectivity, or whether they're weakly favourable or more favourable or highly favourable in some instances. And all of this very much depends on, of course, the quality and quantity of the data that you've got right at the start. Right, I suspect I'm running out of time, so I shall move on quite quickly. So how does it work? So it's a proprietary semantic technology, as I say. It's a knowledge-driven application. It's not GIS-based, although the outputs are obviously compatible with all GIS formats. In fact, I've said most of this stuff already. It uses a well-established set of rules for up to 50 different types of mineral deposit models. And the advantages is effectively it's a very powerful system, okay? And it offers a smarter and more efficient and flexible approach to looking at mineral deposit prospectivity analysis, and it's a lot more. It's a lot quicker as well. So whereas, for example, if you were undertaking a prospectivity study, a desk-based prospectivity study, let's say for gold, okay, or for copper porphyries, for example, it might take a geologist perhaps a week, perhaps a little bit longer, depending on the size of the area and the quantity of data that you've got. With our system, it literally takes hours. Once you've formatted the the data in the right format. It's literally a click of a button, and it takes literally a few hours to produce a map. And of course you can run this multiple times for multiple mineral deposit models. You wouldn't obviously run all 50 for certain areas. You would pick and choose the models that you wanted to do. It rapidly tests different types of data sets in a region: geology, geochemistry, mineral occurrences, structure, you name it, we'll take it. So the opportunities for Kazakhstan then, I mean, I think most of us would obviously agree that Kazakhstan has got huge geological potential for these sorts of deposits, and what we're looking for is effectively to put together a package so that we can actually undertake this work for or on behalf of the Kazakhstan government to produce a new geological survey which can provide this data through a geoportal, which Kazakhstan already has, of course, using the data from SERCAMS to help unlock the mineral potential of Kazakhstan in the future. And I think that should be, oh no, hang on, yes, one more thing, of course, as part of the IGC last week, Raimar and myself and Roz and various other people were at this meeting, and we're all part of a big meeting there, and various MOUs were signed between well, in our case, Department for International Trade and Kaz Geology, for various future collaborative work, which we're hoping to start in the new year. So I think that is probably about it. Raimar, is that about it? Yes, that is. So thank you very much. And if anybody's got any questions, I'm around, of course, for the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.